What's up, everyone? We're back for another preview going into Ironman this weekend. Actually, qualifying is going on right now. So, as I'm watching qualifying, I'm going to kind of talk over how last year went at Ironman and then also take a look at last weekend's results at Budds Creek as we kind of predict and think who we got this weekend. So, kind of looking at last year's 450 Ironman results. So, on the day, Eli was the second fastest in qualifying. Dylan Ferrandez was the only one quicker than him. Eli did go 2-1, and Ferrandez went 1-2 in the motos. So we all know that this is one of Eli's best tracks. So Cooper Webb was up there, but he's not in the race this weekend. So we have Ken Roxon, and that was fourth. Chase Sexton was actually fifth. And then Cody Schock was in sixth place at Ironman last year. Joey Spacci was seventh. Justin Bogle was eighth. Brandon Hartraff was ninth, and Kyle Chisholm rounded out the top 10. I think if I remember right, the field was getting kind of depleted at this point last year. Aaron Plessinger was back in like 13th. He had a bad second moto. I believe he crashed out and finished 36th. So looking at the results though, Chase went 5-4 last year, and I can't remember if he had. I want to say this was kind of the time of year where he was seeming to have a little bit of like tip overs and stuff a lot. So I think that was causing for some of his issues at this race last year, where him and Eli are battling. Now my one concern is that with them battling so much, that Chase is going to be feeling the pressure to make sure that Eli doesn't get away too much in this race. And, so that way he can keep the points gap close. Which, he'd like to probably split with Eli with whether they go 1-2 or 2-1 or if they, both have like a win and then a third place or something, kind of like last week at Budds Creek. Budds Creek was crazy because Chase Sexton had two tip overs and finished seventh. I think he's seen Eli. I got the start on him, and so he just felt like he had to push the pace. Doesn't want to lose that points gap. I think he said he actually hit neutral, and so it caused him to do a front flip. Then another one, a rider went down and hit that rider, and so a couple tip overs early in the race caused for him to have a horrible first lap, and then he managed to work his way up to seventh, and Eli wins that moto. Jason Anderson got second. Ken Roxon was third. Ryan Dungey was fourth. Christian Craig was fifth. Joey Savacci, he was ninth. Dylan Ferrandez was sixth, and Justin Barsha was eighth. So that made it for an interesting start going into this. So it went from, I think, going in, Chase Sexton has a 1-point lead to then flipping over, and I think it's like a 10 or 11 point lead for Tomac going into the second moto. So take off, and this time Eli doesn't get the start, and I don't know. To me, the bike just looked uncomfortable under him, like not quite what he was expecting to do. So I'm almost wondering. He says it's not the scoop tire. Everyone's thinking that was kind of it, but maybe he made some other type of changes I didn't like, causing him to hang on a little bit more. We're going to get that arm pump like he has talked about this year. Jason Anderson pulled a second to get the overall, so he takes the overall. Chase Sexton, even with another tip over in this race, does take the first place for the moto. So he finished 7-1 on the day. Tomac goes 1-5 on the day. Ken Roxon goes 3-3. Ryan Dungey goes 4-4, and Ryan Dungey was giving Roxon all he could. Dungey wanted that podium spot bad, so he was really pushing for it. Christian Craig finished 7th. Joey Savacci got 6th. And Budds Creek is just a hard track to pass on, so a lot of these guys you'll see they kind of started right close to where they finished. There's only a couple like Sexton. And then even Eli went from 10th to 5th, based on the first lap start. So that kind of shows you on how hard it is really to pass as on this track on Budds Creek. So Aaron Plessinger went 10-8 for 8th. Malcolm Stewart got 9th. Good to see him in the top 10 with a 12-10 moto finishes. Ferrandis, obviously, he did not. Him and Barsha, a little incident that got Barsha DQ'd, which after watching the GoPro footage, to me, I don't know. Like, you got to like do something flagrant that that I guess would cause for a DQ. Oh, to me, that incident, I don't know if Ferrandis and him made contact, but if they did, that pushes him off the track. Heck, you kind of watch. There's a big berm there from the inside, the corner that's built up. So he kind of like jumps into the track and lands halfway across it, trying to jump back into the track. Probably wasn't thinking he was going to go that far, and kind of just sees the outside of that turn has a bank on it. In the video, as a pro rider, you should not be looking down at your front fender, but at the same time, maybe it was just due to the fact of, okay, hey, I just got bumped off, and or maybe he's looking at that front fender to see red, just seen red and just pinned it. But I think if I'm Ferrandis, and I guess I'm not going at the speed they nearly are, so I could definitely see where I would have a longer time to make this decision, but I'd be seeing that Barsha just came, got bumped off the track or just moved off the track, like inside the yellow barrier. He's going to be coming up on. That's going to kind of jump him into the track. And it happens so quick that I guess if Barsha was probably to redo it, he'd probably kind of jump and kind of like try to throw a whip a little bit to land almost sideways to be able to take off right in the rhythm section when he lands, coming back on the track there. Whereas as Ferrandis, and that's probably what Ferrandis thought he would do, something like that, or that he would slow up and be behind him. So when Ferrandis goes and rails to the outside there, all the way to the outside, and all of a sudden here comes Barsha, seeing that he's like, oh, there's a bank on the outside here. I'm just going to jump into that and then try to turn my bike off that. And that's just kind of where they meet. So I don't know. Like, I know Barsha has a rep, for being such a dirty rider or just being super aggressive or overly aggressive. And so I can understand where, okay, they're trying to prove a point that you can't be that type of rider, but at the same time, just to me that I've seen riders do worse and get less. So, and like some people are trying to say like, well, think about he's on suspension from Supercross. That's two different technical entities. There's AMA, and then there's AMA Racing that is like the rule sanctioning body, I guess, which is different from the regular AMA that does the Supercross. So, that's one thing actually I did not realize until starting to look into it a little bit. So, that's just kind of something that I wanted to say about the Barsha thing, and to me, it will hopefully be better. So going into this weekend, and after everything, Eli Tomac is up by 1 point, and Chase Sexton is obviously second. Anderson's, I think, securely in that third spot. Ken Roxon's going to be fourth. Christian Craig fifth. Ryan Dungey sixth. There's a close battle for that fifth, sixth spot, so I don't know if there's any bonus for either of them guys as for finishing top 5 in the series. I would say probably not. A lot of times it's like top 3, but or like Eli, I think is like a championship only type of deal. So hard to say for like Christian Craig and Ryan Dungey if they'd have any type of bonuses like that coming in. So we'll jump over. I guess before going in, this is Tomac's track this weekend at Ironman. So personally, I'm gonna say Tomac's gonna get the win. And now whether he goes 1-1 or if he goes 1-2, splits a moto with either or Jason Anderson, Chase Sexton, and something like that. With the way Anderson's been riding, and he actually is another guy that likes the hard packed tracks a little bit more. So like Paula, the last race, I think he's gonna do really well at. And it makes me a little bit concerned that if Eli does go 1-1 today, and if Chase does not go 2-2, it's going to be Eli's champ. And I guess, crazier things have happened, obviously looking at last week, but I say with Eli, this weekend, And I say Eli's taking the champ as much as I kind of want to see changing the guard. Also, at the same time, be cool for Eli with his last outdoor season. To both guys, I guess I would be more than happy to see. So either way, I'm happy to see whoever wins. It's been a great championship. This is what I want to see overall, just the battles and stuff. So hopefully we get a couple more good battles today in the motos and a couple more next Saturday. To finish it off, and then we'll head into MX to Nations, which I'm excited for as I'll be heading down to Redbud. So, but I'm gonna go top 3. We'll keep it top 3, just like is kind of in the points. It's as long as Chase Sexton keep it on 2 wheels, I think he does go, gets a second, and I think he can go 2-2, keeping it close in the points. I mean, it still would put, that'd be what, 6 points he would lose today, so it'd be 7 points down going into Paula, but at the same time, I could see with a Jason Anderson riding, he might be able to get up and kind of put something in between if he can get some starts over there. So, I'm gonna say Anderson taking 3rd, or Chase Sexton 2nd, and then Eli Tomac 1st. Is where I am going for this weekend's picks. And then now we'll move over into the 250s. So we got Ironman's results from last year on 250s. Jet went 1-1. Shimoda went 2-3. Justin Cooper went 4-4. Michael Mosman was up, and he went 3-6. RJ Hampshire had a bad, I think this was one of the races where, like, first lap he tucks his front tire and went 13-12. So, I mean, these are kind of Shimoda, Jet, RJ, Hunter. Hunter struggled with this one as well. I think he got kind of tangled up in the first lap as well because he started way back, so he got 12th and 9th the second moto. So, Hunter's been struggling a lot to me lately. So, I'm kind of, like, wondering what's going on with him a little bit, as if, the motor stuff that they've had that's kind of scared him a little bit, or what, as they kind of go, I don't know, like, he almost just doesn't seem confident, whether there's something on the bike that he's not liking, if he's just not feeling comfortable, if the motor stuff, because there's been twice now, and the Star Racing bikes have so much power, and everyone's like, man, these Hondas seem like they've gotten closer. Everyone seems like they've gotten closer, but it makes you wonder, since these are race motors, how much more on the edge are they pushing these bikes, like, to be able to keep up with those Star bikes? That's one thing that I kind of have been thinking, and okay, if they are pushing it to where they might have reliability issues, is to make it through, that can make some guy feel uneasy and stuff like that, and maybe not be as confident. RJ Hampshire got the win last weekend overall. He took Moto 1 win, and then second Moto 2. Joe Shimoda was second with a 3-1. Jet Lawrence was a 2-3. He for 3rd place overall. Kind of starting to show like he's a little bit human. I don't know if he's kind of just more trying to ride a little conservative to finish this race out, or what his thoughts are. And so I guess, I think he's probably just, so far ahead. I think this weekend, though, he's going to want to try to win, because of if he can get 13 points over Shimoda, and then, he'll be able to wrap up the title this weekend. And so, that's, kind of, I guess, a big factor of why he might want to push this weekend. And hopefully, it doesn't cause him to wreck or anything like that. And he can always just kind of mail it in and then go into Paula next weekend and win it too. Where, maybe Honda's thinking, we're fine if you win it early, and then if you don't, we're fine there. So then we have both of you, who maybe Chase and him, can be celebrating together. Justin Cooper or Michael Mosman got 4th last weekend with a 4.7. Justin Cooper was a 9.4, or had a horrible, well, not horrible, but had a crash in the first moto. Was back in 33rd after lap 1, and managed to make his way up to 9th. Nathaniel Thrasher, or Nate Thrasher, or 7-6 for 6th. Maximus Volin, 5-8 for 7th. Hunter Lawrence was back 8-9 for 8th. Gila Ferris from Spain, and he got to ride one of the Star Racing bikes. And, he did actually really well, way better than what a lot of people thought. So, good to see him, and I think he's back this weekend. Carson Mumford managed to make the top 10, and so that's pretty cool for him. Then we'll jump over to see how the timing going so far this weekend. And then, with this weekend, we have a couple new guys coming out. Well, Ryder D's back for Kawasaki. Also, you have Hayden Deegan making his pro debut, as well as Gavin Towers. So let's see, fastest lap for combined qualifying for 250, because they just wrapped that up. So Justin Cooper was the fastest. Hunter Lawrence was second. So Jet was second. Hunter was third. Joe Shimoda was fourth for fastest. Nate Thrasher fifth. Michael Mosman sixth. Levi Kitchen's back from injury. He's seventh. RJ Hampshire is down in eighth. Seth Haymaker, he's back from injury. He's ninth. Ryder D was 10th. Ferris was 11th. Maximus Volin 12th. Pierce Brown 13th. Jalik Swoll 14th. Carson Mumford 15th. Hayden Deegan 16th. Derek Drake 17th. Derek Kelly 18th. 19th is Cameron McAdoo. Joshua Barees 20th. So there's quite a few, I guess. That's like really from 20th up. This class is kind of getting stacked now with all these riders coming in. Kind of the little bit older riders as well as the younger ones coming in now. So this is kind of getting to be a stacked class now. The question is, will Hayden? I know he's been training with the Star guys. He's down at the goat farm, but will he be able to keep for the whole moto, the high intensity, the race pace that they bring? I would hope so. But at the same time, this is his first race, might have some jitters, so I could see a little bit of fading. Get a decent start would be really helpful for him to help him run with that pace. It's because, it's going to be harder for your first race to try to just come through the pack for sure. So that's just something that you might want to watch out for or see how Hayden does. Hayden does have the capabilities to be able to race one or two of these. He can either race this weekend in Impala and then go back to amateurs, or, by the sounds of it, he's going to probably race a few. This one, Impala. No, they haven't said for sure Impala, but if they do, then turn around and run and, skip Supercross, train, because he's still young. This is his first year technically on a big bike. Last year he was on Super Mini, so, so see how he does training all winter long. Hopefully he stays healthy. Go into the outdoors, prepped, ready, tested, to try to, actually go for like a title, because that's realistically will be his goal. As much as they're gonna say it's not, he want to be at least in title contention, and he'll definitely want to be. So, 450 practice. Yes, we only got qualifying session 1, so we'll see best lap times from that. Chase Sexton in first session was the fastest. Joey Savacci was second. Eli Tomac was third. Christian Craig was fourth. Ryan Dungey fifth. Ken Roxon sixth. Aaron Plessinger seventh. Jason Anderson was all the way down in eighth. Justin Barshaw was ninth. Garrett Marchbanks was 10th. Josh Gilbert was 11th. Malcolm Stewart was 12th. Dean Wilson's back in 18th. Kind of all your big guys. Justin Rodbell, who qualified 16th, is actually, I believe, on Twisted. I hear he's going to Twisted T this weekend, and because he came over, he rode really well, and so he jumped into Ouija's show over at the Twisted T. He 10th, and then and so that'll be interesting to see how that all works out for him. Yeah, so I'm gonna watch the rest of qualifying here as the 450s are going on the track and edit this up and get it posted for you guys. Thanks for listening, and hopefully motos are good today for you. Peace out.